What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 4 Team Builder, taking on Scrappy 10 and the Texas Rain Dance in the UPA-D League Season 4. Scrappy's team consists of Z Lando T, Mega Medicham, Tyranitar, Rotom Wash, Z Gengar, Tangrowth, Miltank, Fortress, Aromatisse, Alakazam, and Turtonator. His only priority comes in the form of Mega Medicham with Bullet Punch and Fake Out, although Gengar can get Sucker Punch and Rotom Wash can get Sucker Punch. I don't really think they're super relevant here. Hazard setting, he's got the Landorus with rocks, Tyranitar with rocks, Miltank with rocks, Fortress with rocks, spikes, and toxic spikes. Removal options, Lando with Defog, Rotom with Defog, and Fortress with Rapid Spin. 4 times weaknesses, Landorus to Ice, T-Tar to Fighting, Fortress to Fire. In terms of what I don't expect, I don't think Alakazam and Turtonator come. Everything else seems to make a ton of sense to me. Alakazam just doesn't, like, it's a threat against me. I just don't really see him fitting it into a slot. Like, I think Tangrowth is a must bring. Tangrowth is definitely a must bring. I think Tangrowth, Rotom, Wash are both essential as Mega Swampert checks. Lando T is coming for sure. Mega Medicham is coming for sure. T-Tar is coming for sure to play the Weather War with me, which I'm not even going to bother playing. I think Fortress has a unique niche here, but it's not super great against my team. Miltank also isn't super great against my team. I'm kind of more expecting the Aromatisse, in all honesty, despite Scissor sort of breaking through that a little bit easier. So, in terms of what I'm bringing, let's start off here with the Necrozma. We got Rocks, Moonlight, Photon Geyser, Thunderwave. So, I brought Moonlight. It's going to get cucked by Sand either way. All my recovery is going to get cucked by Sand. I'm not bringing the Rain, but it's some form of recovery. Photon Geyser, I'm actually mono-walled by T-Tar with this, but Photon Geyser is going to do some nice damage to the Mega Medicham. Gengar, everything else on his team that isn't the T-Tar, Photon Geyser hits pretty well. And I've got Thunderwave to slow big threats down, essentially just the Mega Medicham and the Gengar. I can't imagine I'm going to click Thunderwave that often. I believe I have Toxic later down in the team that I'd rather click against most things. Maybe T-Wave the Alakazam, things of that nature. Fully physically defensive, this was the best way I could live a Mega Medicham hit. Wouldn't be surprised if the Mega Medicham had Double Edge or Return for me. That would make the most sense against Necrozma. Necrozma, Mew are like the big bulky psychics. Necrozma, Mew, Uxie, I guess, are like the 3 big bulky psychics that Mega Medicham can't really break through without Toxic or Normal Move. Just because its coverage really isn't that good. And most of the time it's clicking like an Elemental Punch or it's clicking Stab. And bulky psychics can kind of take those pretty well. So that's what Necrozma is there for, is a Mega Medicham switch in, plus the Moonlight, and I can T-Wave it and deal with it that way. Tornadus, I'm bringing a very bulky Tornadus. This is also a Mega Medicham switch in. My team looks really weak to Mega Medicham on paper, so I'm trying to cover that a little bit more than I probably need to. But this also means that it takes a little bit of the burden off of Necrozma. Necrozma can also function as a Lander switch in at that point then too. I don't really take on T-Tar super duper well, bar Conk, so we'll sort of see about that. But I'm running a very utility-based set on the Torn, Toxic, U-Turn, Defog, and Tailwind. So I'm like almost mono shut down by Taunt if he was to bring a Taunter, which doesn't make a ton of sense. I think Alakazam gets Taunt, and then like T-Tar, Gengar, maybe? I don't know. It's not really a reason for him to click Taunt. I'm outspeeding the Alakazam with this, and Tailwind will give me some speed control against something like a Rock Polish Lando. Could be very helpful to have the speed control there with Tailwind. Defog, I don't want to see his hazards on my side of the field. I don't really care about keeping rocks up on his side all that often. It's nice chip against Lando and T-Tar, mons with no recovery, for example. Especially if he doesn't bring Aromatisse, that's a really good chip. And it's nice to have rocks up to break Fortress is sturdy, but besides that, I'd really rather not see spikes and T-spikes on my side of the field when I didn't draft, or my Grounded Poison isn't coming, and there's no real reason for Amoonguss to come against this team when it's so weak to Lando Mega Medicham. Yeah, but besides those, Rotom Wash kind of looking like a threat, so I'm bringing a check to it. AV Heliolisk with Dry Skin. I could also be Sandvale. That's a viable option this game with the T-Tar around, but I'm opting to be Dry Skin and just be a complete Rotom Wash check. It's really not going to be able to touch Heliolisk with pretty much anything that can go for, besides a Hidden Power. I've got U-Turn there to pivot out on things like Lando if I need to. HP Ice should be able to deal with the Lando effectively. I didn't want to bring Surf necessarily. HP Ice is just a little bit more effective at hitting the Lando, and I didn't really need a Hidden Power for anything, so I'd rather have Hidden Power. Ice, T-Bolt just blows through a lot of the team, and then Focus Blast is there to hit the T-Tar primarily. It's also a nice way to nuke the Miltank if it's Fizz Def. And I guess it's a way to hit the Tangrowth, but in most cases, I probably just U-turn into Torn on the Tangrowth every single time. Running enough speed on here for his base 100s, which are the Miltank and the Mega Medicham. Max special attack, a little bit of HP. Conk is next. I'm bringing Banded Conk, which is kind of risky. In all honesty, it's kind of a risky bring against his team, especially without fire coverage. I don't actually know if I'm running fire coverage. Oh, I am. But Banded Conk looks really fun here. Iron Fisted boosted Drain Punches hit everything really hard, even the Lando at -1. Despite it being a resisted hit, it's going to hit it really, really hard because of Banded Iron Fist. Aromatisse doesn't want to take hits from this. I've got Poison Jab for the Aromatisse as well. I'm not necessarily going to predict it to come in, though. I think Drain Punch is a really safe click against most of the team. I have nothing to touch the Gengar besides Ice Punch, but Banded Ice Punch should kill it, I think. And then Banded Mach Punch is a nice way to revenge like Lando or Mega Medicham. Seriously? Just getting ads from... Okay, then. Just getting ads from my my fake Microsoft Word popping up everywhere, but whatever. That's a problem. Why is that a thing? Sorry, just cut off my train of thought there. Yeah, it's not even open. Okay, whatever. Oh well, moving on with their lives. Yeah, Banded Conk goes in here against this team. Should be really solid. Looking forward to see it break through Miltank, which will make my life with Hydreigon a little bit easier. Hopefully it can break through Aromatisse, because I don't have the best Aromatisse checks on this team. I'm not bringing Scizor. It just didn't really have... I didn't have room for Scizor. I would have loved to bring Scizor. It's got a pretty decent matchup here. I'm running a little bit of speed on the Conk. This is to outspeed no speed Tangrowth, so I should be able to outspeed that and 2-hit KO it with Drain Punch fairly easily, or Ice Punch, whatever floats your boat. Hydra, I'm bringing a Life Orb Hydra this week with Roost, Draco, Dark Pulse, and U-turn. So again, I have no way to break through Aromatisse with this. I'm kind of relying on Conk to do it quite a bit, or like Toxicate with Torn and then wear it down that way. This is like mono-walled by Aromatisse. I wanted Roost. I also wanted Flash Cannon. I also wanted Fire Coverage. Can't have all of them. Ran into like 8 move slot syndrome this week, but Hydra is pretty effective at breaking down the walls. I also wanted Super Power, which I don't have. So this will be interesting. It's kind of free to click Dark Pulse most times in the match, but the Aromatisse could be quite an issue. If it's Spadef, though, at the very least I can just U-turn out on it and go into Torn and go from there, or I can go into Monferno, which is the last member of the team. I'm running enough speed on here for Lando. Excuse me. So I can drop a Life Orb Draco on that if it's not Scarfed or not boosted yet. Max special attack, a little bit of HP. And then Monferno is the last member of the team here with Choice Scarfed. I'm running a mix set with Flare Blitz, U-turn, Close Combat, and HP Ice. Flare Blitz can break through a few things. Close Combat is there mainly to break through Thick Fat Miltank. I don't really see the point of bringing Thick Fat Miltank against me when you could bring Sap Sipper and be immune to Spore from Mungus. That seems to make a little bit more sense to me than running Thick Fat for Monferno, of all things. I don't really know why. Like, checking Monferno seems like such a low priority on anyone's ideas. So basically, after we lost last week, I wanted to use Monferno. And Monferno, I was looking at it and I'm like, alright, this is actually kind of a decent matchup for Monferno. It can break through Tangrowth for Conk and Helio and whatnot. It can break through Miltank. It can semi-break through Aromatisse. It's a great way to revenge kill like T-Tar. If I'm Scarf, then I can revenge kill the Medicham. So there's a few things that I really liked about Monferno this week. I am mixed with the HP Ice there. I'm just running enough speed to outspeed the fastest thing I can, which is Alakazam. So there's nothing relevant that's a Scarfer that I'd be able to outspeed anyways with Monferno. So I'm just outspeeding Alakazam with this speed investment, which is perfectly fine. It means that I'm going to outspeed everything at neutral. If he's not bringing a Scarfer, which I don't know if he would. If he is, it's probably going to be Gengar. Like Scarf Energy Ball is a nice way to take out Mega Swampert. Like Max Speed Gengar Scarfed. Or Giga Drain, I guess, at the same time. It's a Gen 3 move for Gengar, but I don't think it can use Sludge Wave with that. It might be able to now in Gen 7, I'm not sure. Either way, that's what I'm running the speed for. I'm minus Spadef nature, so I'm not really going to take Moonblast well. I'm not running a Violite, so I'm not really a bulky Pokemon in the first place. Don't really want to be switching into things. But the idea behind most of this team is just to pivot around. Notice I've got U-turn here, U-turn here, U-turn here, and U-turn here. So pivoting around into my checks to things or into bigger threats is kind of what I'm going to go with this one. Scrappy's a little bit more of a standard player than Ange is. In fact, quite a lot more of a standard player than Ange is. So, that can also be very threatening to me. I have a general idea of the kind of sets that he's going to run against me with every single Pokemon that would come against me. But that doesn't mean that they're all going to come necessarily. That doesn't mean that he's not going to pull some weird double switches every once in a while. He tends to want to just stay in most of the time, but he's just a really good balance player, and this is some fat balance here. So yeah, we'll sort of see how this goes. In terms of what I'm not bringing, again, I wanted to bring Scizor. It's got a decent matchup here. Amoonguss, another Pokemon that I was okay with bringing, but kind of got decimated by Gengar. Like, all of his offense, Amoonguss lost to, and then it beat his defense, which was really weird. Like, his entire defense is really weak to Amoonguss, but his offense just crushes it. So yeah, not really what you want to have sitting there. Gardevoir, okay. I didn't really consider Gardevoir too much this game. It's got a rough time breaking. It's got a rough time being a utility mon here. So, maybe like a Heal Bell variant of Gardevoir could be all right, but not coming. And then the Rain Core, I'm not bringing Pelipper Mega Swampert, mainly because of Tangrowth's existence and Rotom-Wash's existence. They're like kind of the best defensive rain checks, in my opinion, in the game, besides like Cryogonal. Although Cryogonal doesn't really take on Mega Swampert very well. It's more for the special side of things, like Ludicolo, Kingdra. I think that he'll have Rain under check, especially with the T-Tar. I think T-Tar has to come against me. And I do think Rotom Wash and Tangrowth both have to come. So he's kind of limited in what he has to bring based on my my roster, and so we'll sort of see about that. His fire type is pretty underwhelming, so he doesn't really have the best ways of dealing with Scizor. Thinking like Fire Punch on T-Tar, things of that nature, maybe a Choppa Berry or a Tanga Berry T-Tar, something of that nature to be able to take on Scizor, maybe a Berry Berry if he doesn't want to lose to like Bullet Punch or Iron Head. I brought Scarf Scizor last week, and he may know that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, that's sort of what's up in the air. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the match against Scrappy in the Texas Rain Dance.